What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody. So the man you see on your screen right there is Chuck Dixon, legendary comic book writer, probably the best Batman writer ever of all time. All right. Chuck Dixon, Nightwing, Punisher, man. This guy's got a laundry list of great legendary titles and characters. Creator of Bane. All right. You can't say nothing else. This man created Bane, one of the great villains of Batman's lore. Here's what he has to say on James Gunn's DCU. He said, I think it's over for him. Superman failed no matter how you look at it. He will not be a part of the DCU, even if there is a DCU after the upcoming sale of Warner's.
He ain't lying.
And look, I got to 100% agree with Chuck Dixon. I think he's done. All right. I think James Gunn is James Dunn. I don't think he's coming back. All right. He says that he won't be a part of the DCU, even if there is a DCU. I think the DCU might survive. I think the DCU, the characters, maybe even some parts of the universe, I think that stuff will survive, but they're going to go in a completely different direction after they get rid of James Gunn. But yeah, I think James Gunn is outro, man. Look, the bro fumbled, man. James Gunn fumbled the ball. He had an opportunity of a lifetime to be the co-CEO of DC Studios, basically the creative guy, and you can do anything you want, and this is your baby, and all you got to do is just stick the landing. Give us Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, bring in some great comic writers like Chuck Dixon. Like, where was Chuck Dixon? Chuck Dixon should have been in the room with you. But he probably don't respect Chuck. I mean, I'll be honest with you. He probably don't respect anything Chuck does. And that's because James Gunn is just a different cat. Look, Chuck Dixon already had this guy pegged a couple of years back when he first announced the DCU slate. This was on Bounding into Comics. Legendary DC Comics writer Chuck Dixon reacts to James Gunn's DCU slate. I don't think he knows what the audience wants.
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that.
Chuck Stradamus, he was preaching. He said this all the way back then, 2 years ago, just after the slate dropped. Chuck knew what he was talking about. Like, I was holding out hope. All right, man, I think James Gunn might be able to get it done. Bruh, I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. This cat has no clue what the audience is looking for. He's giving us orgies and full frontal nudity and all of this other kind of crap in one of the first 3 projects that he does. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. James Gunn's first impression for his universe was Creature Commandos, sex in the bathroom. And then we get to Superman, and there's all kinds of goofy stuff there. But, you know, if you like Superman, you say, oh, man, it was colorful. It was hopeful. You know, Superman was fun. It was more comic booky than anything we've ever got. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. Then you get to Peacemaker. And Peacemaker's got an orgy in the first episode, full frontal nudity all over the place. He's tackling racism. He's saying, oh, well, the real world isn't much different than Nazi world.
Message.
This dude don't know what the audience wants at all. Do you really think the audience really was going to rock with that, James Gunn? Chuck Dixon is 100% right. So, yeah, this is basically what it comes down to. Ultimately, it comes down to money, all right? It really comes down to money, and it comes down to the fact that Superman lost money theatrically, $42 million short of profitability. That ain't what Warner Brothers signed up for, man. You don't take the biggest superhero in the history of superheroes and lose money on them. And if you do that, gots to go. Warner Brothers hired James Gunn to make them some money. That's what they say. All right, man, DC is in a bad way. Okay. DC is in a bad way. But look, this guy over here, he did a good job with some lesser known characters, you know, over there with Marvel. The Guardians of the Galaxy. All right, surely if we put them out there and we let them get Superman, my God, we're going to be raking in the dough.
Tell them to bring me my money.
That's what they thought they was going to get. They thought they were going to get the MCU. That's why you bring somebody in and say, all right, man, you're going to be the CEO. You're going to be the chief guy. You run it all. Because we want the MCU in return. We want what the MCU did with those first 3 phases. 22 movies or whatever leading up to a giant end game. And we making $2 billion at the box office. That's what they expected. They didn't expect out the gate. Oh, shit, man, we lost $42 million. Wait. We lost how much? That's what happened. And look, I don't want to hear nobody talking about, well, DA, you're not counting all the other money that they made off of Superman. You're not counting the merch and the action figures and the toys and how many new pairs of underoos. Little kids was wearing Superman underoos again. Oh, you're not counting all of that money. Like, I'm not counting that money because this is about the money that's made in theaters. We got to stop trying to mask like how much money these movies are really making, because the theatrical run is absolutely a big part of how much money they should have been making. This is an opportunity cost. You had a run in theaters. Did you make money or lose money? Well, you know, we kind of lost money. Then you lost money. And I don't want to hear about how many Superman t-shirts you sold. That shit don't matter to me, man. You lost money in theaters. You should have made money in theaters. Maybe if you trimmed back on the budget a little bit and you had butts in seats, all right? You had repeat viewings. People were flocking in. Oh, man, Superman, I've seen it like 5 times. I can't wait to see it 7 more times in theaters. And then they made the dumbass decision to pull it out of theaters after 35 days. I don't want to hear it, man. This guy, like Chuck Dixon said, Superman failed no matter how you look at it. And that was his opportunity. He had a golden opportunity. And he blew it. All right? And look, you blow it sometimes, all right? Players fuck up. So, James Gunn, I don't hate the guy or whatever, but I'm saying, like, your vision of the DC, it ain't working, all right? I think they're going to give him an opportunity to see if he can right the ship with Man of Tomorrow. That's why he's working lickety-split. Hey, man, I got to get a banger of a script. I got to have one of the best ideas and the best things that I've ever done. He has to put that forward and hope like hell that people are still rocking with him by the time Man of Tomorrow comes out in 2027. Because, look, whenever Warner Brothers sell, it's going to be back and forth. It's going to be some hiccups to get to that. But he has one more giant, like, roadblock standing in his way, and that's Trump, all right? Folks are saying that James Gunn's days are numbered. Trump favors Skydance to buy WB. Trump is in good with the Ellisons. And the Ellisons are going to be like, hey, man, we ain't pushing all of the woke garbage and nonsense and bullshit with the message. We ain't doing all of that. All right, we want a superhero universe that brings people in. We don't want to hear nothing about Nazi worlds and all of this other crazy crap. All right, we don't want nothing woke in this thing. I think that if James Gunn can't rock with that, and I don't think he can, I think hey, man, you know, creative differences, I got to depart. And the Ellisons will be like, cool, deuces, get your ass out of here. And they'll bring in somebody and probably keep the same cast. Because I think David Cornsweet is a good Superman. I want to see him stay. You know, you could get your Wonder Woman finally, your Batman. Like, why is this guy dragging his ass to cast a Batman? That should have been the first casting right alongside David Cornsweet. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Here's our Trinity. We're announcing them. Here they are. Put them at Comic-Con. Put them wherever at the Superman premiere. Whatever you wanted to do. You should have already announced all the big 3. And then everybody else just kind of fills in. But, I mean, the fact that this guy hasn't done that, man, this shit is over, man. So, yeah, again, I'm right there with you, Chuck, all right? I'm right there with you. I think it's over for him. I think James Gunn is done. And, what are other people saying about it? I'm curious. John A. Douglas says Chuck knows what's up. Yep, he does. Chuck's a good one, absolutely. This looks like an obituary. Come on, man, don't do him like that. Oh, my God, yeah, he's giving one for the DCU. Facts, man. Oh, no, Chuck Dixon didn't like it. He's always right, yeah. He was right, wasn't he? This guy don't know what the audience wants. Chuck Dixon knows what's up. Absolutely. 1,000%. Look at this. Chuck Dixon is a bumbling old fool, and he's going to be proven wrong. Well, he wasn't wrong about this, all right? The man knew exactly what he was talking about when he said James Gunn doesn't know what the audience wants. James Gunn's right now is on full scramble mode, trying to fix shit in post. He's already had all kinds of other ideas. The Authority. I'm going to do the Authority. Yeah, maybe I'm not going to do the Authority. People's scripts are coming in. James Gunn's rejecting them. Yeah, I think James Gunn knows Chuck Dixon knows what the fuck he's talking about. Let's see here. Me and my girl watched Superman and shit was mid, very mid, super mid. All right. Super mid. Chuck built his entire career trying to be Wolfman. He needs to accept the fact that he'll never be Marv Wolfman. Sadly, he never will. But yeah, he's a great comic writer and he's speaking facts right now. Chuck knows what he's talking about. It is crazy how it's going, though, man. Kind of telling as it stands now. Superman was the best thing we've gotten so far, and Peacemaker 2 could have been better with an extra episode or 2 and an entire rewrite of the final one. Peacemaker just needed to go. It was a terrible, terrible series. Terrible series. And here's the thing. Whether you like Peacemaker or you hate Peacemaker, it should have been something that built towards the next thing. All right, I'm more excited now after watching Peacemaker to see what's coming next. And it should have been uniting all fans from DC all over, bringing in new audience members. That's what James Gunn's assignment was, all right? You're supposed to build the hype. You're supposed to bring in people from all over, cast the widest net you can possibly cast. And you can't cast a wide net when Peacemaker is having full frontal nudity and orgies and all that kind of dumb shit in there. It was a dumb idea. So yeah, anyway, you guys let me know what y'all think. But again, I think Chuck is 100% right over the target. I think it's over. I think Superman failed. I think the DCU is a failure right now, and I think he's already lost a lot of people that was willing to give him an opportunity. Are there some people that are still looking forward to stuff? Yeah, sure. But I guarantee you, like the fact that, what was it, like 40%? What was that number? Yeah, the fact that Peacemaker Season 2 lost 40% of its viewers before all was said and done, that tells you everything you need to know. That the people that started with episode 1 couldn't get through 8 episodes without saying, I'm done. Let me go watch something else. Yeah, I mean, and maybe they come along and finish it later, but you want people like tuned in every single week. Oh man, what's happening next week? Oh man, I gotta watch the next one and the next one. Nope, they lost 40% of the viewers. Y'all just gotta face reality, man. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Go ahead, jump down in the comments, give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.